Be honest. Have you ever bought a book, got super excited to read it, and then never made it past the first chapter? Yeah, me too. Meanwhile, CEOs, they're out here reading 50 books a year. But here's the crazy part. Half of adults don't even read regularly, and 15% have never read for fun at all. But let's be real. Reading is hard to stick with these days. There's always something pulling us away. Endless scrolling, binge watching, notifications blowing up. It's no surprise that so many of us struggle to finish a single book. But here's the good news. You can make reading a habit, and it's easier than you think. Today, I'm sharing 7 simple, practical tips to help you read more, stay consistent, and actually enjoy it. Let's dive in. All right, so we all know reading is important, but have you ever wondered why? Like, what's the big deal? Well, for starters, reading improves focus. It literally trains your brain to concentrate better. It also reduces stress. Ever lost yourself in a good book and forgotten about your problems for a while? Yeah, that's science. And of course, it boosts your knowledge, whether it's self improvement, business, or just fun facts that make you sound smart in conversations. But honestly, I wasn't always a reader. I used to struggle with finishing books. I'd start one, get distracted, and never pick it up again. But then I made some simple changes, and suddenly reading became something I actually enjoyed. And that's exactly what I'm about to share with you. 7 super practical tips to help you read more, stay consistent, and actually love it. Let's go. All right, let's get straight to it. If you want to build a reading habit, start small. Seriously, just 5 to 10 minutes a day. That's it. The key isn't how fast you read. It's about showing up every day. Even a few pages daily add up over time, and before you know it, reading will feel as natural as scrolling your phone. Think about it. You don't need hours of free time, just a few minutes before bed, with your morning coffee or while waiting for something. The goal, make reading a habit, not a chore. And once you've got that down, here's how you can take it even further. One big mistake people make with reading, they force themselves to read books they think they should read. Listen, if a book feels like homework, you won't stick with it. Instead, read what excites you. Whether it's mystery, self-help, sci-fi, or even graphic novels, it all counts. When I stopped picking books just because they were popular and started reading what actually interested me, reading became fun, and I found myself reading way more. So, forget the book of guilt. Pick stories that pull you in, and reading will never feel like a chore. Now that you've got the right books, here's how to actually make time for reading. Now that you've got the right books, the next step, actually making time to read. The trick is simple. Set a reading time. Morning, during your lunch break, or right before bed, whatever works for you. Just make it part of your daily routine, like brushing your teeth or checking your phone. When I started reading at the same time every day, it stopped feeling like something I had to fit in and just became a natural part of my day. And guess what? That's when it actually stuck. So find a time that works for you and make it a habit. And if you struggle with distractions, my next tip will help with that. And if you're struggling to find the right time to read, here's a game changer. You don't always have to sit down with a physical book. Audiobooks and ebooks make it so much easier to fit reading into your day. Stuck in traffic? Listen to an audiobook. Waiting in line? Pull out your ebook. Traveling? Your entire library fits in your pocket. Seriously, this tip changed everything for me. I went from struggling to read one book a month to finishing books while doing everyday stuff, walking, cooking, even cleaning. So if you're short on time, audiobooks and ebooks are a lifesaver. Speaking of making reading easier, my next tip will help you stay focused. Now, audiobooks and ebooks are great, but what if you finally sit down to read and you just can't focus? Yeah, we've all been there. The biggest reading killer? Distractions. Your phone, social media, background noise, it all pulls you away before you even finish a page. So here's the fix. Keep your phone away, or at least on silent. And if possible, create a cozy reading space, a quiet corner, a comfy chair, maybe even a warm cup of tea. Make reading feel inviting. Once I started doing this, I found myself reading longer and actually enjoying it. And speaking of making reading more fun, My next tip is a game changer. So you've got your cozy reading space, your distractions are under control, but sometimes you still lose motivation. This is where a reading community can make all the difference. Whether it's a local book club, an online forum, or even a friend who loves to read, having people to discuss books with keeps you accountable and makes reading more fun. I used to struggle with finishing books, but once I joined a book club, everything changed. Knowing I'd get to discuss the story with others actually made me want to keep going. So don't do it alone. Find a reading group, join an online discussion, or just buddy up with a friend. And now for my final tip. This one will completely change how you see reading. So, being part of a reading community keeps you engaged. But how do you stay motivated long term? Simple. Track your progress. Apps like Goodreads let you set reading goals, track finished books, and even get recommendations. Or if you're more old school, keep a reading journal where you jot down what you read and what you loved about it. I started doing this, and it's crazy how much it boosted my motivation. Seeing my progress made me want to read even more. So, whether it's an app or a simple notebook, track your reading. It works. And there you have it. 7 practical tips to make reading a habit that actually sticks. Which tip are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments, and if this helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.